In this video, I'll show you how much money you can make flipping cars in Dubai, which car brands are the most profitable, how much money do you need to start with, and the biggest mistakes that you should avoid. So let me take you through the whole process. It may sound a bit counterintuitive, but the best place to start is the last point, Facebook Marketplace. To start off on the right foot, it's crucial to know the market prices quite well before taking any action. If you skip this step, I can guarantee you won't make any money. And after weeks and weeks of thorough research and investigations, I came up with this. It's basically a weekly updated document of actual car sales prices from my network of car dealers, which I call the ultimate guide for used car prices. For me, it's a priceless masterpiece that I would never trade for anything else. For this video, I've decided to buy two cars, and that's the first one. This car is a 2015 Mini Cooper, identified by BMW's internal technical code F56, with a mileage of 177,000 kilometers. Before I dive into the issues of this car, let me tell you where I bought it from. It all depends on your skill level. If you are just starting out, I highly recommend buying from Sell Any Car. While yeah, they take the majority of the profits, but their cars are usually easier to fix. Most of the time it's just simple issues like oil leaks. Once you're comfortable with working on cars, you can step up to Emirates Auction. They offer a wide variety of cars, but be cautious with cars provided by court, like this one. The paperwork for those cars can take ages to process. Finally, for the pros, and where most of the money is, you have Copart Auction. These cars are considered not worth repairing by insurance companies, simply because they require extensive work, leading to a very high labor cost. That's actually where I got this car from. I've only paid 9,500 dirhams for this Mini Cooper, which is less than half of the market value of this car in the used market. If you are wondering what's the reason behind this bargain price,
because this car was flooded before. That's why it's so cheap.
I knew buying a flood damaged car was a huge risk, but I never truly understood why, until I got this one. I thought if water goes inside the engine, that would be the worst possible scenario, but I was completely wrong. I knew I had to replace this engine, and believe it or not, pulling an engine out of a car is actually pretty simple, but I would be lying if I said I knew what I was doing. I was honestly terrified. I had never done anything this big before, but I knew if I stayed in my comfort zone, I would never learn anything new or make any progress, and my plan to become rich would remain nothing more than just a dream. Let me show you how the cylinders look like. Yep, that's how my cylinders look like. It should be shiny. But look at that, and they don't even move. Nothing. Super seized. Let's take a further look at the process. Simply you buy a car way below the average market value, and that will generate our potential profit. Let's call that the purchase profit. And then you will spend money buying the required parts, reducing your profit by a little bit. Now comes the repair process. If you take it to a garage, you can still make money, but your profit will be significantly reduced. However, if you fix it yourself, you secure a guaranteed safety margin, because you're basically pocketing the labor charges. That's because the car's market value isn't a fixed number, just like your purchase price. I'll let you decide for yourself which way is better and suits you more. But for me personally, I choose to fix cars myself every single time. The next question now is German cars or Japanese cars? And to answer this question, I need insights from someone who's deep in the business. My friend, Yuzu. Can I make money flipping cars?
Bro, I opened a garage by starting like that.
He quit his job and he's working on cars now full time.
It just need like a lot of effort, like really a lot of effort. More than 12 hours of work every day, but everyone can do it.
I've asked him lots of questions, starting with which brand
should I try flipping?
I would say the best cars, the best brands actually, they are the Japanese. Doesn't matter if actually, I'm not saying that the Japanese are much better as cars. German cars are very good as well. But the reputation will help, like the reputation of that brand will help you actually to sell it much faster compared to a German brand, let's say. Kia, Hyundai are my favorite cars. They never gonna let you down. Like you're gonna see, whoever has a Kia or Hyundai, everyone is satisfied. So I wouldn't say avoid German, but as a beginning, yes, avoid it.
I decided to put this question to the test, so I followed his advice and started bidding on the cheapest/newest Japanese car available at auction, a 2019 flood-damaged Mitsubishi Outrage.
Before I lose you, let's do a quick 10 seconds recap. Right now I have two cars.
A 2015 German Mini Cooper and a 2019 Japanese Mitsubishi Outrage. Both are flood damaged and both from Copart. I've decided to fix both cars myself to save on labor costs. If I manage to fix them, I will show you which one made more money and exactly how much I made on each one of them. Back to the Mini for an update. I bought a second-hand engine from a Japanese spec car and started reinstalling everything in reverse order. I reconnected all the oil and coolant hoses, plugged in the electrical connections, and secured the engine and transmission mounts back in place.
I think that the car is done. Honestly, I don't have any hopes at all, but let's try it. I'll just fill the car up with oil, coolant, and let's give it a try. I was almost certain that the car is not going to work because of the starter motor. Usually, majority of the flat cars, let's say 99%, they need starter motor to be replaced. Let me explain to you the starter motor actually.
Back in the days, people had to hand crank their cars to get the engine moving. It was dangerous and physically demanding task until the starter motor came to the scene. The starter motor's job is to handle the first engine turn automatically. It's usually located at the very bottom of the car, which makes it highly vulnerable to flood damage.
That's the old one and it doesn't work, so I got a second-hand one. I put on the car and let's see what's gonna happen. I know it's a bit difficult to see, but that's the front of the car and that's the back of the car, and here is your starter motor. Now after we have changed the starter motor, it's time to try starting the car. Hopefully it's gonna work.
Finally, the car has started and it sounds fine. The white smoke you see is just leftover water residue in the exhaust system from the flood, but I cleared up after 15 minutes. Now it's time to clean the car and bring it back to life. Cleaning is just as important as fixing the car. Believe it or not, 60% of people would choose a shiny good looking car over a well maintained but dirty one. While we clean the car, let's break down how much I've spent on it so far. I've paid 250 dirhams to tow the car from Copart, plus some payments for miscellaneous parts. The used engine cost me 3000 dirhams, and the RTA registration set me back 1300 dirhams, bringing my total investment to 14,270 dirhams. I saw similar cars listed on Facebook Marketplace for around 23,000 dirhams, so I decided to price mine as the cheapest on the market, at 20,000. In the end, I sold it for 18,300 dirhams, leaving me with a net profit of 4,030 dirhams.
Even though I'm grateful for the money that I made on this car, I still think I could have made way more, 4,000 dirhams at least, if I made proper inspection.
There is no way you can buy a car without plugging a computer. That's number one. Really cheap on Amazon. OBD reader, you connect with your phone. And honestly, this is how I started, with just a small device.
Now let's check the progress on the second car, my Mitsubishi. For the Mitsubishi, I knew straight away that I would need to replace both the engine and the transmission. But with my experience from the Mini, getting the old engine out was quick and easy. The only key difference that you need to know is that some cars designed for the engine to be dropped from underneath, while others it's easier to remove it from the top. After being shocked at how cheap Japanese car parts are, I managed to get both the engine and the transmission for just 1,500 dirhams. Believe it or not, the whole process took me less than 1 hour.
The best cars, the Japanese. I would say like all the Japanese and Korean, Kia, Hyundai are my favorite cars. They never gonna let you down.
Not working.
Even though I replaced the engine, the car still didn't start. The reason? The body control module was ruined by water. But I've learned a crucial lesson. Engines and transmissions aren't usually the worst thing that can ruin a car. It's the electronics that can turn a car into a total loss.
Yep, Yudzu was right. Literally in everything that he said. Japanese cars are so much easier to fix than German cars. Inspection is crucial. If you don't do inspection properly, there is no profit. I can guarantee that to you. However, I have a personal opinion. I prefer working on German cars. Why? Because it's way less competition. Yeah, it's difficult to fix. Really difficult. More complicated and advanced. But it's less competition, so it's up to you if you want to learn more or if you just want to take the easy route.
I bought this car for 4,500 dirhams, and just the cost of the body control module and the ignition system alone was 4,000 dirhams. I had already spent 1,500 dirhams on the engine and the transmission. After a lot of thought, I realized that this car wasn't profitable anymore, and I had to accept the loss. This car was an experiment I never imagined myself doing. I took huge risks, and yet in the end, I didn't make a single dirham. This is the side of the story that no one talks about. The part where you put everything on the line and it just doesn't pay off. But just when I thought all hope was lost, the car was sold on Copart for 4,600 dirhams, and I managed to scrap the old engine for 450 dirhams. I didn't walk away with any profit, but I managed to cut my losses significantly. Flipping cars is not easy, but it's doable, and if done right, you will make lots of money.
You can make up 10,000 dirhams per week if you know what you are doing.
More than anything though, I discovered something about myself I never knew before. A deep love for cars. And if there is one thing to take away from this video, is that if you never try, you will never know.